Justin, I haven't looked at the updated driver bio in the past couple of weeks, but I do see that the driver on here that states he's the spotter for the Steakhouse in the Cup Series.
I've seen that.
New, or
I've seen that.
What's the name?
Frank Beanie. I haven't seen him in any races though. At all.
I was wondering how new this was.
That's been there for weeks.
All right, gotcha. I've been using the one from last season lately.
Yeah. I don't think anything's changed since the start of the season.
Yeah, they're nothing significant. Now, we do have Donnie for an interview, guys. Just FYI.
Yep, have that noted.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't scroll down that far. All right. All right. Streams up. All right, I'm going to test this real quick. Mics are cold. They should be. Oh boy, that didn't work. JP, I don't know what's going on. I bet we've got to do this in Discord. Okay. Get Devin over here. Send a message to Lowell, to everybody over there. We've got to do this in Discord. I have no choice. I have no more time to screw with this. I'm not even in the session yet. Okay. So, gotta get moving here. I'm not exactly what failed or why. I don't have time to debate it. Just we'll do the show here.
Lanier National Speedway, now known as Lanier Raceplex, finally started seeing racing again here just a few years ago. Before the track went silent in 2011, it was a common feature on touring short track series schedules across the southeastern United States. From super late models, street stocks, and legends, they all were here. The Wayland Modified Tour and ARCA even made some stops here as well. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, the Grand National Series, now Xfinity Series, made 5 stops here. The last, in 1992, won by eventual NASCAR Cup Series champion and fellow iRacer, Bobby Labonte. The track has since reopened and been given a facelift. Nowadays, mostly go-karts and legend cars takes their turn around this facility, but occasionally, the rumble of V8s can be heard, and not just at nearby Road Atlanta, as super late models have raced around Lanier as recently as November of 2019 as a prelude to that year's Snowball Derby in Pensacola. Enjoy today's race.
Like these Grand National cards will tonight.
Indeed, here. This should be an absolutely interesting. cloudier skies for the SK Modifieds, and now look to try maintain grip. And speaking of that, Devin, we talked about this a little bit before. Last race at this racetrack under the lights, the top line came into play.
Yes, and it is completely different when you take Lanier at night. You have the ability to use other options just because there's more grip on the track than you would normally have when it's sunny outside and hot outside. You mentioned on your Twitter page, Justin, on one of the earlier races, it was just smoking hot. You could to cook an egg on the track temperature earlier today, and 85 degrees is still nothing to laugh at. It's still about 10 degrees hotter than the air temperature out here. So it's going to be slick. We've already mentioned that. So the key to this race is going to be making sure you defend that inside lane. If someone gets to the inside of you and there's 5 cars and a train behind them, you're going to lose 5 spots. You cannot give up that track position in a race where you cannot reset your tires, and it's 100 laps.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. As the action continues for the practice, J.R. Shepard's at the top of the board. Bobby Rafferty's been very strong at this racetrack this week. 13-6 in the ballpark as well for him. Mike Holloway, Lowell Jewell, Austin Belke round out the top 5 in practice tonight. Is there any stopping J.R. Shepard is going to be the first question, because by lap 45 of the modified race, he was in the lead.
Yeah, I'm not going to put money on it. I'd put more money on that J.R. Shepard can come out and win again tonight, as he has in past seasons. And we also have the Bootleg Racing League Dirt Street Stock Series here on GSRC on Friday nights as well. And I've been extremely impressed as J.R. Shepard has become better and better racing on dirt. And I think that just goes to show you just how good he is at adapting, learning, and becoming better. And I know that even in a series that he has dominated the past 3 seasons now, that he can still get better from where he is now, and he's continually getting faster, in part because he just knows how to save up those tires. Heck, he raced in Legends cars for 6 years. He's a manufacturing engineer. He has those racing and mechanical smarts inside those heads, and I just think that, man, he is just so fast. It is going to be a problem to try to beat him tonight, but a name that I do look at is Bobby Rafferty. We have been so surprised these past few races at just how good he has been in keeping up with the likes of Shepard and Lowe throughout these past few weeks. So I'm not going to say that it's not possible to beat J.R. Shepard, but it just feels like in every series he's running, he's somehow getting better.
Here's an air name to think about too, Ruben Altus. He started on the pole for both the events earlier tonight with the invert. He's actually been able to hold on for a decent amount of time. We'll have to see and hear how they'll line up for tonight's action, because practice is now over, meaning it's time to see how they will line up for this evening's race. What the difference is with how the races have gone in the Grand National side, Joe Sagawa will lead them to the green flag this time. Austin Belke's in second spot. Jeffrey Harden's in P3. Donnie Moore starts in 4th position tonight. He's second in the points. Justin Morton rounds out the top 5. J.R. Shepard with the invert is 6th. That's because of driver attendance. That means Bruce Pearson, Lowell Jewell move up to 7 and 8. For example, Todd Liston starts in 9th. Kurt Smith rounds out your top 10, Devin.
And Ruben Altus will be in the 11th position inside of row 6. Bobby Rafferty will start in 12th outside row 6. Tim Shinosky joins us tonight, starting from the 13th position. Mike Holloway in 14th. And rounding out your field tonight, the 17 car of Chris Wolfson, your 15 car field here at Lanier National Speedway.
Drivers are rolling once again, as talked about 3/8 mile circuit here today in Bristleton, Georgia. These drivers ready for what is cooled down from qualifying to an 82-degree track temp. 77 is the air temp. What are your keys to victory tonight?
First key is do not give up that track position. Fight for that inside lane. You do not want to get stuck getting railroaded as you're stuck on the outside. But of course, another point, saving your tires is important, but be conservative on entry because of how hot this track is. 60 laps through the race, it'll be so easy to lose that rear end.
Pace car drops off. Joe Sagawa in control of the field. We are underway from Lanier, and a better start from Belke on the high side. Austin Belke came away with a great finish in the modifieds. He's off to a good start down the back already.
And how about Donnie Moore slipping into that third position? A tough start there for Jeffrey Harden. Donnie Moore takes advantage from that inside lane, and now J.R. Shepard trying to take that fourth spot on the outside as well from Harden.
And this is the first time tonight, Devin, that Shepard has not started on the bottom of the racetrack for a race. Both times he was able to get up to third by lap 4. This time, he's in fourth by lap 3 by using the outside to squeeze Harden.
And Justin Morton will follow along as Shepard clears for the fourth position. Right now, Harden just cannot have enough speed on that inside lane. And now Justin Morton just about took a peek to the inside of J.R. Shepard, fourth and fifth battling on the track. But your leader right now is still the 81 car of Joe Segala.
Melke's still comfortably holding on to second position too. Donnie Moore looking nice and patient in the third spot. Fastest lap of the race already, though, has been set by the 98 machine and J.R. Shepard. He changed up the design of his race car tonight. Remember, he's had the Sunoco logo on his front hood for a long time of the 98. Tonight, he's put the series sponsors, the cruise shop, on the hood this evening. We'll see how much that carries the speed that we've seen for the Sunoco version of the 98.
Yeah, I think he might just be okay. The cruise shop logos that we see in the Dirt Street Stock Series usually are just fine as well, winning plenty of races. So it will be cool to see the series sponsor potentially wind up in victory lane again tonight, but he still has 3 fast hot rods to get by before he sees P1.
Most of the drivers are single filed out. They've been very quick races tonight. The lap times here are the quickest out of the whole night. There were about 15 seconds for the modifieds, about 16 seconds for the straight stocks. They're running 14 flats in the Grand National machines. These laps can go by in fast, for a minute.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's part of the issue here at Lanier. If we go green for a long amount of time, like we have in the past 2 races so far today, you can run out of time so quickly. So if we do get restarts, it will be a huge key to winning this race, or at least gaining positions to make that up on restarts. Is now J.R. Shepard peeks to the outside of Donnie Moore, trying to find third.
Pelkey trying to run away from this. Moore trying to shove him off, and the Monte Carlo does. They stay single file once again. Now Shepard crosses him over right in the backdrop of Pelkey. Shepard tries to wheel his way to the bottom. Moore, though, able to power on down to the top. Shepard getting a little impatient now. Devin, we normally don't see this from him.
It looked like a good move, just wasn't able to carry the momentum that I think he was anticipating, and he does have to be a little bit careful. Justin Morton is ready to strike just in case that move didn't work out and he pushed up the track going into the corner. I'm surprised if he is short on patience, though, because there's just so much more racing still to go, even with how quickly these laps go off, and we know how good Shepard is at conserving his tires.
Absolutely, but here's the main thing, though, too. Say there's a caution in the middle of the pack or the back of the pack, you'd have to start on the outside again. And we've seen if you were on the outside too long with this tire, at some tracks you absolutely cooked them. Moore nearly cooked his front tires, nearly locked them up.
Almost looked like he was driving a little defensive there as we look off the top of J.R. Shepard's machine with that cruise shop logo. Joe Segala and Austin Belke have not lost these two, even though they've been battling. This top 5 still very clustered together right now early on, 15 laps down here so far at Lanier.
Coming to the end of lap 16 this time, the top 5 are broken away by about a second or so from Jeffrey Harden and company. Second group is led by the 44 of Harden. Lowell Jules in that grouping, Bruce Pearson, Ruben Altus. But Joe Segala's done a very impressive job to hold on to this race lead and look comfortable. Half a second distance between first and second still.
Yeah, and the keyword there, Justin, I think is comfortable. He looks really smooth right now. He looks like he's really hitting his marks. This Forest Hill Lanes, Illinois' number 81 machine, definitely looking smooth out there on the front of the course. But now bow for second here as Donnie Moore looks to the inside of Austin Belke.
Side by side between Moore. He nearly shoves Belke up the racetrack. The Jeff Gordon-themed race car still tries to give the squeeze. Now Shepard tries to fall through. Near he hits the back into Moore. Moore still can't get clear, but does have that preferred bottom line as Belke's struggling on the middle line.
Yeah, this is the scary part for someone stuck on the outside. You're not just going to lose one position here because J.R. Shepard and Justin Morton are ready to pounce. Right now, just getting railroaded on the inside, and he's going to drop all the way back to 5th.
So, a tough break for the 24 machine who has looked strong all night. He has been inside the top 5 for much of the evening in his respective races. They've, however, with all the fighting, allowed Harden to gain some time back. Joe to allow some time back as well. They're back within a second in the choo-choo train.
Yeah, Segala had a little bit of extra time there to spare, but Moore's already knocked off about 2/10 of what he had, and now
Shepard trying to apply the pressure. Morton was the quickest out of anybody inside the top 5 last time by. Shepard arcs it on down a little bit more, gets underneath the corner panel, dives it on in. Moore gives him the space. Morton tries to follow the hole. J.R. Shepard into second for now. The question is, can he make it work on the bottom? Moore was able to squeeze off the top before.
A textbook pass, some textbook defending there by Moore. He's just not going to be able to hold him off, and a yellow comes out right in front of the leaders.
That's Kurt Smith. Also involved in that, it looked like Bruce Pearson, yes. 2-car incident at the very back of the field to bring out our first yellow of the evening, coming to 74 laps to go.
And I think that worked out pretty well for J.R. Shepard. He's going to get that second position because of where his car was at the time of the caution. There's no scoring loops here on iRacing. It's literally the second that the caution comes out where you're sitting. So he moves into the second spot. And so for this restart coming with about 70 to go, he will be on row number 1.
To correct you on that, some tracks do have scoring loops, but it varies on essentially the age of the track and the size of the track. There's been cases where the scoring loops have come into play at some racetracks, say at Michigan or Dover. But Segala's in the lead now, though. With the caution flag, that was an incident for 14th place in a 3-wide incident. J.R. Shepard is up to his highest spot of the night, P2, and how much pressure do you feel now if you're the 81?
You're going to feel quite a bit here. It's going to be a little relaxing that you are in the well, I shouldn't say the inside lane because you might want to pick the outside lane. I don't know, get some momentum. But the fact that you have lane control and you're going to be able to take off when you want, you are going to be able to make at least a little bit of a gap and make that 98 car work for first position. Also, Justin Morton will be starting in the outside lane here. So we'll see if that comes into effect with whoever starts on the outside row number 1. Might that have something to do how well Justin Morton jumps here on the start as well?
Agree with you completely on that one, especially with how good of a start Belke had at the start of the race. He just couldn't keep the outside line to keep it side by side off the corner. And now, lights are out on top of the pace car. Segala's in the lead, Shepard in second. Row 2 will see Donnie Moore on the bottom side, Morton on the top. Belke's in P5, Harden in 6, Jewel and Altus round out your top 8. Your biggest mover is P10, by the way. That's a +5 for Chris Wolfson. Pace car coming off the racetrack this time. When will Segala go? Green flag is out. Underway. Shepard went a little bit too early. That bogged him down for a split second.
But still a great restart for the 98. Fighting back on the outside lane. Gets a nose in front of Joe Segala. We're 2x2, 2 rows deep for the top 4.
Shepard leads that time by his first lap of the race. Segala, those not giving up. Morton also not giving up in the battle for third position. The 98 floors it hard once again. Segala tries to run it off the corner. Shepard this time, he's clear for the race lead.
Segala is giving him a lot of room there, slowing down a lot on the inside lane. It's just hurting him too much right now. He loses the lead. New leader, the 98 car, is free in front of the field. And now Segala is under attack from Justin Morton for that second position.
So the middle line started coming to play for some of the fast drivers. They are starting to want to make that work like it did under the lights last time this series was here with these cars. Doesn't work quite yet behind the 89 though. 81 rather though. Donnie Moore forces his way back underneath once again for P3.
Moore able to fight back. Morton, how much tire is he using on that outside lane right now as he continues to try to fight to move into that top 3? But Donnie Moore will clear here as you watch Joe Segala continue on here in second, and you'll see a little peak of white there. Bobby Rafferty up to the 6th position after that restart.
Yeah, great start for him so far in this race in his Ford. Bit of trouble behind the 81 machine. Spin, Bobby Rafferty gets turned. Caution flag is out. It's the second one of the race already, and it was a checkup formation in situation there, Devin. It looked like Rafferty hit the back end of the 24, then the boss man ended up hitting the 7.
Well, I guess I'll take the blame for that, being a broadcaster and mentioning someone's name. Naturally, that's going to happen less than half a lap after I say something. But that is one of the domino effects here at Lanier, or really any short track, and just Bobby Rafferty falls victim of that here at Lanier.
So that's going to mean Rafferty's all the way back in 13th. The bright side, he's not a lap down like Kurt Smith and Bruce Pearson ended up being in their battle for 14th position. That brought up the previous caution flag. I want to take the time real quick with this caution flag to touch on that championship battle. As we talked about, Shepard, 4 victories to start off the campaign, 30-point advantage in the standings over Donnie Moore. James Lowe, not in the race tonight, but there are a couple drops in the series, so that may come into play for James Lowe. Justin Morton has a chance provisionally be P3 in the championship after tonight, with Todd Liston around the top 5. Shepard and Moore have been very good this season, and Morton has looked very good in this Grand National car, it seems, Devin.
And that makes me even more impressed about Joe Segala. He is running so well right now in that top 4 of drivers that you just mentioned, to sandwich in between there. But I do want to go back to Justin Morton, because, man, how frustrating is it to be running on the outside? You think you finally got the guy on the inside of you, and a restart, and we're back on the outside again. So this is a little bit frustrating few laps here for Justin Morton, as he will restart back in the outside lane once again.
And here's the difficult part, too. Mr. Victory Lane, J.R. Shepard, is up the front, and as we've seen, it's difficult to catch him when he's got fresh air, and he's able to run away on the long runs. He ran away from the modifieds earlier today by about 2 seconds. Just about all set to get back on our way. Segala's up to 2nd. Green flag is out. Bad start for the 81. Doesn't get going. Morning gets checked up. Donnie Moore now retakes 2nd.
And that will open the door. Austin Belke tries to get back up into 4th. Does not have enough room, though. Justin Morton gets into line now, looking to the inside of Joe Segala for 3rd.
Great start for some of these drivers. Look at Tim Shanowski, though. He's quietly moved up inside the top 5. A +8 for the 07 machine. Seen him in the backdrop. It's the Kmart car that's inside the top 5.
Mr. Kmart working his way up through the field. The Pennsylvania native now trying to find his way into the top 5 as you look at the rear bumper there of Justin Morton. To the inside right now of Joe Segala, looking for P4.
That time nearly drifted up into him. Segala now loses the bottom line. He had held on for so long. Shanowski takes advantage, moved Tim Shanowski up into P4. And he's been coming in quick. He's matching lap times to the top 4 drivers.
An impressive run here, and now Joe Segala is still in trouble as he's under attack from Austin Belke now for that final spot in the top 5. Donnie Moore still controlling 2nd place in front of Justin Morton, but already J.R. Shepard already over a 2nd advantage over the field.
And Donnie Moore just cannot get the same pace, about half a 10th slower per lap in the 26th, and having to back up the corners so much that Morton nearly ran him over on the corner exit turn 4 a couple times, it seems, Devin.
Yeah, last time in 3 and 4, Morton about got into him 3 or 4 times. I don't know how much more patience Morton is going to have, because you see that Sunoco crew shot machine run away, and now Morton makes the move to the inside. You can't let that 98 car get too far away, and right now all they're seeing is that blue car get smaller and smaller.
Justin Morton now wants to take away 2nd. He's been held up a little bit. Move the TDR machine up inside the top 2. What a run for Justin Morton, a normally dirt-focused driver. He's really coming into his own, it seems, in the pavement, especially in the past couple races.
Absolutely. He's one of only 3 drivers to ever win in this series, one at Martinsville last season, and so he has his name on a pretty prestigious list of only 3 drivers who have won so far in the Grand National Series, and he has shown himself as a competitor for the championship, but now has to run down J.R. Shepard as he is actually starting to gap the rest of the field himself.
Here's the problem, though, as you can see in the backdrop, there's a choo-choo train starting to form up behind some of these cars. It's clean space for Justin Morton now to try and reel in J.R. Shepard. But just behind Shepard, there's a conga line of about 10 cars single file.
And the worst part of a conga line is if you trip, you get ran over. So the last thing you want to do is get stuck on that outside as Donnie Moore, looks like he might have locked it up going into turn number 1 and almost got sent to the outside by Tim Chinoski. If you get moved to the outside like Joe Segala is right now, forget 1, 2, or 3 positions. You're losing upwards of 5 or 6 spots on the racetrack.
Yeah, this could get a bit ugly. Tim Chinoski again nearly hits him in the back end. They're starting to scrap just behind him as well. But Chinoski, can he get a nose underneath? He's got a chance to arc it. Moore's giving him the space. Moore gets tied off the corner. Chinoski still doesn't feel confident to get to the inside. As the caution flag is now out on the racetrack, Bobby Rafferty is involved again. And that was in the battle we were just talking about, which was side by side between the 81 and the 87.
Yeah, Joe Segala was running up in the front of the pack, and on that last restart got shuffled back and now caught up in this ordeal. And Bobby Rafferty, already a tough night here for the Jim Beaver Esports driver, as he is in his second incident tonight.
Let's take a look at this one. Wow. There were 2-3 wide in that incident in turn 3.
Yeah, the back straightaway, that's not usually where these guys pile up at. It looks like Todd Liston might have been the first domino to fall there. He got really loose. Yep, Doors, Segala there, and that's kind of where everything starts. Wolfson was just trying to stay away in case Segala checked up too much and ends up catching the quarter panel there of Bobby Rafferty. Just kind of a racing deal there and just nowhere for the 7 car to go.
Right side is one fast repair is available, as talked about a little bit. The question is, does Rafferty use it? We are under 40 laps to go, and this is a tough pit entrance, mind you, because it wraps around the entire racetrack. The drivers at pit boxes are on the back stretch. They have to then go all the way around to the front stretch to turn 1 to exit the pits.
Yeah, this is not my favorite pit lane. Even in the dirt track cars, it's not a fun pit lane to be in and get stuck in sometimes. Depending on how slow you are under caution, you can still go a lap down sometimes. So, yeah, not a fun pit road. And, of course, I don't think these guys will be taking any green flag stops. But if you did, boy, you'd be in trouble.
And I do not believe Rafferty used the fast repair. He stopped in the box for 4.7 seconds, but I believe his car is still damaged, last on the racetrack and 15th now.
Yeah, it looks like he still has some right front damage on that car. So I don't know if it just didn't take the fast repair there. Obviously, you cannot change your tires in this league, and I don't think fuel's a necessity here tonight. So strange what happened there.
On to go this time by, though. J.R. Shepard once again in control of the field. Difference is Justin Morton will start on his outside. Moore's in 3rd. Chinoski's in 4th. Bulky, Jewel, Liston, Wolfson, Holloway, and Smith. Their top 10. Green flags back out. We're underway once again. Shepard off and away into turn 1. Single file. Morton to the bottom quickly.
Donnie Moore on the inside. Tim Chinoski for that 3rd position gets by him. Now trying to settle back in line before Belkey can move in and get to the inside of him. The top 4 all lined up, but behind them they are all still 2 by 2 as Will Jewell tries to fight on the outside of Austin Belkey.
We're running off and away already, 4/10 from the rest of the pack. Moore has been able to take away P3, but you mentioned Belkey. It's side by side, 2-3 rows deep for about P5 on back. This has already lost them 7/10 to the group in front that's been trying to reel in that 98.
This back group is losing sight of Tim Chinoski in that 4th position even as they continue to try to battle out and sort out who is where here in their positions. Along with that, J.R. Shepard and Justin Morton are starting to pull away themselves from Donnie Moore and Tim Chinoski as well.
Gap's starting to come down a little bit. Morton was a little bit quicker compared to Shepard last time by. Still going to continue to be intriguing here. Shepard exits the corner. Really good launch. He's been now able to find something right there, it seemed, off turn 4. Get some extra boost off the corners.
Morton, for the most part, is keeping pace, but still has that gap there to J.R. Shepard as we come down to 30 laps to go here at Lanier. At the very least, he's keeping the 98 in sight. If you can do that, at least that gives you an opportunity to keep a chance at fighting for the win, but it's still going to be tough to run him down as we look at the battle for third position as Shanowski goes to the inside of Donnie Moore.
And Moore really pushes the nose that time by under braking. Janowski up to P3, and Janowski tries to run off and away. Bulky now tries to take away P4. What a strong night for the 24. He usually has struggled at some tracks. This is the best we've seen from him this season.
Belke started second, fell outside the top 5, and is already now coming back to the field as we have the caution flag fly once again.
It's the boss man, I believe. Lowell Jewell got spun around from P8. And keep in mind, if you go more than about 45, 60 degrees, it can bring out a caution. That was the case with Lowell Jewell as he had help into turn 1 and 2. Hit a couple cars with his front nose and was able to save it, but caution still triggered because he went 60 degrees.
See on the inside, Jeffrey Hart. They're going to dive into turn number 1 here. And it looks like Lowell Jewell just went a little bit too low. The 44 car didn't really have a lot more he could do there unless Lowell thought that he might be able to clear him going into that corner. But that's just short track racing right there.
Absolutely. That's now what is our third caution flag of the race. These laps turn by quickly as we talked about. This is looking to be the quickest race of the campaign, Devin, at this rate. About 20 minutes of racing so far on the clock.
And I mean, it's still a 3/8 mile oval. It's not a quarter mile or anything, but it's not a half mile. So yeah, these laps do tick by fast. And I wouldn't be surprised at all going green with probably about 21, 22 laps to go here. If Morton cannot at least try to push the 98 car, push Shepard to use up some more tires or something, he's going to get away and he is going to be gone just because of how quickly these laps will go down. So we'll see. But also, Tim Shanowski starting inside row 2. He has been fast, so look out for that Kmart 07 machine.
Keeping an eye on that 4. Pace car is off. Shepard with the earliest launch of the race back underway. He gets himself clear again into turn 1. The top 3, in fact, all single filed out.
Yeah, all 3 of them, Shepard, Moore, and Shanowski, all had great launches there and are already starting to move away from Donnie Moore in that 4th position, trying to fight off Austin Belke. But again, Justin Moore needs to put a little bit of pressure here on J.R. Shepard, try to make him use some tires or something here, otherwise you're not going to be able to catch him later on in this race.
Yeah, he's been running away, it seems, on corner exit turn 4 especially. That's where he's just been able to launch, it seems, an extra half a tenth in that part of the racetrack. Morton, meanwhile, he's been shipping it off in 3 and 4, all while Shepard's been able to just back up the corner and then have an extra boost of speed by 2 miles an hour at the very minimum by exit.
Yeah, and you can even see Morton almost got the wall there. Shepard is exiting lower than Justin Moore, and he's in the center of the corner lower than Justin Moore. And I think that's where he's picking up some of that time that the 9 car and the 07 car just don't have.
1,000 second faster, by the way, was Morton last time. Here's a look on board from Shepard. See, Tim Shanowski, though, is keeping within range. Still is about 1.2 seconds in range of the 98 machine after the jump.
And how about a name we have not said so far tonight? Mike Holloway into the 5th position, the former mini stocks driver from Oklahoma, has been fighting his way through the field and has made his way into the top 5.
Now you see him a bit in the backdrop to start the second grouping. We haven't talked too much about him. He is your second biggest mover outside of the 07, +9 for him. It's also been his best race of the campaign. It just seems this racetrack seems to bring out some unique talents from some of our competitors, it seems.
And I think it's just because your marks here are so quick. When you get on the gas, I mean, these straightaways are almost so short. Like I said, it almost feels like an exact circle because of how much you are turning these cars left. You're only straight for, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 feet. Like, you have to turn that car so much. Your inputs are so precise and so quick. It does help out guys who have that quick reflex to help run away from the field.
You can see the top 4 ran away from the second group, and the distance between 4th and 5th is now 1.2 seconds. Shepard has pulled away by 0.7 of a second, coming up to 12 laps to go. And he is still the fastest car on the track by a tenth or 2 a lap.
Time is running out for Justin Morton, who has started to fade away as Shepard almost has a 1 second lead. But still that battle for third, trying to get out on the podium here tonight. Donnie Moore and Tim Shinosky battling for third, but Moore still trying to reel his way into that rear bumper of the Kmart Ford machine.
Yeah, solid season. Talked about a little bit about him. Just has been the struggles on the entry in the ASPCA and Stone River Outfitters machine tonight. It's starting to feel like he's gained a little bit of pace. He was about half a tenth quicker, if not a full tenth quicker than the 07 last time by. He just can't get a nose underneath coming up to 9 to go.
And riding on board, you can really see how different the exit is for Donnie Moore. You can see how hard he drives into the corner. You don't even see the stripes on that Kmart logo anymore. Looking to the inside here going into turn 3.
Backed it up a little bit on the gas, you heard, as Moore still cannot get clear. Shinosky trying to give the squeeze in the Ford. 7 to go this time by. Moore backs it up a little bit more. Trying to build up a run once again. Just can't get completely clear yet.
Still door to door, that outside lane just good enough to help drivers fend off competitors, but still just not enough to really make moves as Donnie Moore almost has the 07 cleared here off of turn number 4. Almost has the job done for that third position.
And he does have a job done. To get clear that time. 5 laps to go this time by, however. 14 drivers still running on the racetrack. Jewel, the only DNF of the race. He had been half a racetrack back. The battle for P5 just got interesting, though. Rafferty is up to 5th all of a sudden.
How about the trek for the Jim Beaver Esports driver, moving his way back into the top 5, and now Mike Holloway under attack from Austin Belkey as well, trying to move his way back up towards the front. But wow, Bobby Rafferty, even with quite a bit of damage on the front end of that car, coming from the rear of the field, back up into the top 5. Impressive run.
Still trying to run off and away is Moore to try and hold on to the podium position, but 2 laps to go this time by. Been an air clinic from J.R. Shepard. There's a reason he's already reached 20 victories with a strong start to the season so far, Devin. It's been difficult to touch to the 98 as he comes up to the white flag this time by.
And just the way he did that on the last restart too, there have been drivers that were able to keep up with him, but now a 2-second advantage. Like you said, Justin, just a clinic here tonight at Lanier.
For the 5th straight time to start off the campaign, J.R. Shepard will go to victory lane. He drifts it home. He wins at the Lanier Raceplex. Justin Morton second. Donnie Moore rounds out the top 3. Shinosky and Belkey round out the top 5. Some race highs for some of the drivers. Should note, you see some of that smoke? There was apparently an incident in the final corner that seen Holloway put to 14th. Harden to 13th, and Rafferty to P12 in that fight for 5th, Devin.
Boy, that is really unfortunate. A couple of drivers who were having great runs, and that inherits 5th place to Austin Belkey, and Joe Segala was able to work his way back up to 6th as well.
And as J.R. Shepard moves his car off to victory lane, we'll take a chance to look at your finishing results for tonight, where another clinic was put on by the Magic Man and Mr. Victory Lane. J.R. Shepard, 5 for 5 on the campaign. He wins by 2.2424 seconds over Justin Morton. Another strong performance from the 9. Donnie Moore finished in 3rd tonight, with Tim Shinosky, the biggest mover, 13th, up into P4. Austin Belkey rounded out the top 5. Joseph Gallen, 6. Kurt Smith in P7. Chris Wolfson with a quiet race in P8. Bruce Pearson in 9th, and Ruben Altus round out your top 10, Devin.
Todd Liston will bring it home in the 11th, and then that last lap incident, Bobby Rafferty in 12th, Jeffrey Harden 13th, Mike Holloway 14th, and Lowell Jewell will round out your 15-car field here at Lanier.
What are your thoughts on how this race played out tonight? Because it took some time for Shepard to get there, but once he got there, he ran away. The second they got a long run, his average pace tonight was about half a tenth quicker than much of his competitors tonight.
And that last run really impressed me because he ran away from everyone after a race where it looked like there was at least one or two drivers that could keep up with him at the very least and try to push him. But that very last run, J.R. Shepherd just blew the entire field away. And I would have to assume, going back again to having good tire, I guess I call it maintenance, if you will, over that entire course of the race, because with how much he had to push towards the beginning of that race using that outside lane and being able to just run away from everyone at the end, that was just an impressive run there for the 98.
100% agree with you on that one. And when looking at the upcoming races for August, mind you, you've got some various different racetracks like Southern National, like Martinsville. There's a lot of variety coming up in the calendar, to say the very least. But one driver I think who's going to be fairly happy with his performance tonight just joined us from the racetrack. Donnie Moore finishing in P3 tonight. How are you feeling? Donnie Moore, do you have a copy? More time. Donnie Moore, do you have a copy? Give Donnie Moore a second here. Ask you then about the schedule once again, Devin. There's a big variety of racetracks with National, Martinsville in the win for Morton there last time, part of the Moonshine Challenge, New Smyrna, Thompson, the Bull Ring at Las Vegas. There's a fair amount of variety there.
Yeah, and that's what really brings some fun action to this series, is the fact that while it's all short track racing, these are all very unique short tracks. It's not like we're going to the same track every single week. I mean, the Bull Ring and Sobo, even though, I mean, kind of the nicknames there are almost identical, they're still so different. Even Lucas Oil Raceway and Southern National, you look back at when we started the season at North Wilkesboro, every track has its own nice characteristics here on this 11-race schedule, and it makes it for a lot of fun as we move through the season, and we get to see some strengths of different drivers.
We actually picked up Justin Morton, who came home in second tonight. I believe he's also standing by with you, Devin.
Yes, Justin Morton, you got a copy? Justin, you got a copy?
I think so.
All right, there we go. Justin Morton bringing it home in second place tonight. Well, first of all, we thought that with how hot the track was, there might be some slipping and sliding tonight, but you guys looked pretty on point. How did the track treat you tonight?
Yeah, I was having problems more on a corner entry. The setup felt pretty tight to me. But I guess JR was hanging it out most of the time. Didn't really look like it, but he said that's what he was doing. It seemed like that was the way to go. Just try to get it as loose as you can, save that right front.
Yeah, JR certainly on another good run tonight as he just ran away in that last segment. But as the season continues on, you've had a lot of good runs. Looking forward ahead towards the rest of the schedule, where do you see yourself needing to improve to try to fight for some more wins here? Of course, you got that win at Martinsville last season. What else do you need to try to compete with that 98 car and take home some wins this season?
I need to get better at saving tires, specifically the right front. He had, I think, 6% better right front than me this race, so it really shows in the lap times at the end of a race.
Still get to bring it home in second tonight in that number 9 machine. Who do you got to thank for your performance here?
Yeah, I like to thank my team, Total Downforce Racing, Black Box. Thanks Lowell for running the league, Pixel Dust for the awesome paint, and thank you guys for doing the broadcast.
Started in 5th, brings it home in 2nd. Justin Morton with the runner-up finish here tonight at Lanier. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
And now let's send it on back over to Justin Prince. It looks like he has tonight's race winner, J.R. Shepherd.
Yes, indeed. It's 5 for 5 on the season, 21 career victories already in this series. How are you feeling after tonight?
Yeah, if you'd told me that I'd be able to run up front as much as I did tonight, I wouldn't have believed it, because Lanier's a tough track, and it's one of those that's really hard to pass on. And based on the races we did earlier tonight, guys were really hanging in there, even over a long run. So pretty happy to be able to get this one done, and yeah, just fun night.
One of the things Morton noted is you had better right front tire wear, 6% the difference. How difficult is it to save the tire, and what's your method to do so?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, and it's very important in these races that are 100 laps in a higher powered stock car. So, you have to do it early. I've learned that the first couple of laps in a run, if you overheat the front tires or the rear tires, you're going to pay for it the whole run. So, one of the things that's really big is tire temperature, and that's why you got to take care of them early. So, being patient's one of the big things when you think you have a run on somebody, and instead of nailing the throttle and trying to drive into the corner hard, you got to take your time with it and just be patient and let it come to you.
Next race goes to Southern National Speedway. What's going to take to continue the streak of winning every single race in this series?
Well, it's going to end sometime for sure. There's no doubt about that. And I think Justin was extremely good there the last time we ran, and there's several other guys that are fast when we go to those tracks with a high banking. So Southern's one of those tracks where tires are definitely going to come into play, but it's about driving the track so you get the car rotated through the center. The guy that can do that the best is going to be the one that'll be up front.
Who do you want to thank for being a part of your victory tonight? Also noticed a bit of a different look on that front hood too.
Yes, definitely. So start with the Bootleg Racing League for allowing us to do this each and every week. And we had the cruise shop come on board this week. So I'm really proud to have them on board, and just very, very thankful for everything that they do for this series. It's a big deal to have a partner like that. And without them, we don't get to have these races or have the broadcast on GSRC. So really appreciate everything that the cruise shop does. And if everybody's looking to take a cruise, go over there and check out the cruise shop.
Congratulations on going 5 for 5 to start off season 3 of this series' history.
I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for everything you do.
J.R. Shepard, another victory on the campaign. Let's see what we can get a hold of. Donnie Moore. Donnie, do you have a copy? Try the 6-second time. Donnie Moore, do you have a copy? One final time, Donnie Moore in the number 26 machine. Do you have a copy? Give him one more second here. Donnie. Appears we unfortunately cannot get a hold of Donnie. We apologize for that. But we'd like to thank Justin Morton and J.R. Shepard for taking the time to speak with us. Devin, your final thoughts on this one?
Boy, another fun one, but J.R. Shepard, again, just proving his dominance here in this series and just being able to take off there towards the end. Oh, so impressive. And how about a shout out to our GSRC hard charger tonight, Tim Shinovsky, started off in 13th, just one spot shy of Chan with us here tonight, brings it home in 4th. Good showing out there for the Kmart 07, our GSRC hard charger tonight.
He's going to be very happy, I think, with that shiny, shiny trophy that you may or may not send him, but your thoughts on who's going to be able to come away with the trophy the next race?
Well, I certainly like how Justin Morton has been racing. I mean, he's been one of the few guys consistently keeping up with J.R. Shepard. He's already won before in this series. He knows how to get it done. He's done it before. I think he definitely has the ability to do it again. But this week, Donnie Moore really did a great job keeping up. Even when he fell back a little bit, made his way back up to the front of the field. I thought that was very impressive, because sometimes when you fall back that far, it's just too hard to work your way back up into a podium position. So it might sound cliche to name the 2 drivers in the top 3 not named J.R. Shepard, but I think they were there for a reason here tonight.
I think so too. We'll have to see how things go on August the 1st, but we'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's action from the Lanier Raceplex. We'd also like to thank Bootleg Racing League for organizing this exciting series, keeping everyone busy each Friday and Saturday night with many different short tracks across the iRacing service. If you're looking to take advantage of GSRC's over 1 million monthly global impressions, official series sponsorships to commercial placements, we have advertising options available to suit your company's needs. I'll link in the description to the YouTube version of this broadcast tonight to learn more about the Global SimRacing Channel. Take this time to thank the companies who provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed up on your screen. Additional thanks going to Jude Lawan, who provides our wonderful music. Screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the great team today of Devin and Sean. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC or the upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. I'd like to To help support the channel, you can check the merchandise for sale at gsrc.storemvy.com or check out our social media on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global SimRacing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Gram. Don't forget to head over to the YouTube page to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss a moment on the Global SimRacing Channel. The next race takes place at Southern National Speedway on August the 1st. Be sure to tune in. Race time is about 9 p.m. Eastern. Coverage begins at approximately 8:45 p.m. Eastern. That's about 5:45 Pacific. We also have upcoming races for other series listed up on your screen, so be sure to check those out and mark them down your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard, see you on the track.